Hello, I'm Bruce Apar, and we have a really entertaining and different show for you today on Frank Talks with Bruce the Blog. Okay, and hello again, everybody. And as I always tell you, this show is very spontaneous, so if you catch me talking to Chris Sciarra in the middle of the opening, that's what makes the show fun, right? That's why you watch. Anyhow, we have a great show for you today, and as I said, it's very entertaining and different. And first, let's meet all of our guests. We have more guests on today's show than we've ever had, probably on any 2 or 3 shows, actually. So sitting to my, well, if you're watching on TV, it's to your right. To my left is Jessica Lynn.
Hello.
And her sister Samantha, and their dad, Peter Calamera. Right, so this is the Calamera family, and we'll find out more about them in a second. And my good friend, and their good friend, Chris Sciarra of CS Construction and CRS Productions. And Chris is very well known around Yorktown and beyond for being involved in just about every phase of life you can imagine in the town, and he's a real mover and shaker. And that's what we're going to talk about today a little bit is, well, your production company, right, Peter, that you have, the family entertainment group called Over the Top, right? And that Jessica Lynn, I guess depending when you're watching this, either will or just filmed a PBS special, right, at the Winery. And everybody by now knows the Winery, which is a great venue. So why don't we start off, Jessica, talking about, and all of you can chime in as appropriate. How did the PBS special come about? Because that's not something you hear every day from, from local talent.
Well, my dad a few years ago had a PBS special that went to #2 in the country.
Right.
And he does like new age classical type music. So we've lived here, for our whole lives, and we've always passed by that, the Winery, or it wasn't the Winery at the time,
right,
it was the church. Yeah. And we were always so curious about it and like what was going on. And then we always saw little signs like something coming here. So when it finally opened, my dad had went in there to, check it out. And I believe that's when he met you, Chris.
Chris, right. Chris was involved in the whole creation of the Winery.
Yeah. And as soon as he walked in, I mean, it's like really a breathtaking
yes, it is.
Place. And I mean, the scenery is just gorgeous. Right. So when he walked in, he's a producer, so all of, his thoughts started going, and he said, this would be an amazing place for our next special.
Right.
And we had been, producing my new album the regular way, in the studio,
right.
And just
and what's the title of the album?
This Much Fun.
Okay, and how long has that been out?
Well, it's not out yet. It's going to come out with the special.
Well, actually,
okay, right. So
on the evening that we're filming the television special, we're also recording her debut album live.
Oh, wow.
So what goes on that night in the Winery is what's going to go out to the public and in the record stores. So
and then there'll be, as has been the case for many years now, basically since MTV, a companion video for the CD, right? That's how that works.
The whole thing is one package.
Right. And when will the PBS special be actually broadcast?
Well, we're hoping if we can wrap everything up, we shoot on October 2nd, of course. If we can get everything done by mid-November, we're hoping to send it out to them through our distributor and see if we can get it picked up in December in time for their pledge drives.
And how that works, I believe, right, Peter, is that every station makes that decision? Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. Like when we did my show, PBS did a national feed, which is what we're hoping for Jessica.
Right.
That they just, PBS themselves, they're headquartered in Virginia, and they just blast it out to every one of their affiliates all across the country.
Right.
And then there's also the options where each station themselves can individually purchase their own programming and put on what they choose. So we're hoping, like in my case, that they like the show enough that it will get a nationwide run.
And it'll be 60 minutes, is that like?
Yeah, it's going to be an hour-long program.
Right. And your show, was it Forever
and
Beyond
yes.
was broadcast a few years ago, and like
yes.
Jessica Lynn was saying, was #2, right? In
Yes.
terms of audience?
We were behind my competitor, Yanni, was number
Right.
1 with
Okay.
his new show,
Right.
and we were #2.
Because it was what you do is New Age music. is
Yeah,
that-
it's New Age
Right.
contemporary classical. And
Right.
Jessica was actually a very big part of that show as well.
Right.
She was one of the featured singers and did a wonderful number that she had written about a couple we knew who was dealing with Alzheimer's disease called Your Favorite Stranger, which went on to be one of the high points of the actual show.
Oh, wow. And so, Chris, when did you come into
Well,
this?
actually, Peter gave me his CD.
Oh,
When I had met him, he said, "You got to see my CD," and I watched the whole thing immediately. And when I saw Jessica singing that song in her red dress at the piano, I said, "Oh my God, this is Winery material."
right.
Good memory.
Actually,
And by the way, not
It is
just
a red
red
dress.
winery material. White wine and whatever. Rosé.
it really took me back. It really, I was like, this is what has
Right.
to happen there.
No, and it's great. I've talked to Peter now and to you, Chris. And one of the things we want to do on the show, by the way, so I'm talking to the audience at the same time I'm talking to you. And by the way, I just reminded myself, I have to remind you and that we're brought to you by the Penny Saver and Chase Media Group. And so I thank Carla Chase and my co-host, Frank J. Rich, who is not here, obviously, right now. And he'll be back in a couple of shows. But we thank them for putting us on. And one of the things we want to do with this show that Chase Media Group produces is let everybody know more than they currently do about local talent. And when we say that, it's not meant to limit it. I mean, obviously, what you're doing has the potential to make you national talent. Because having listened to the songs that you'll be hearing in a few minutes, I mean, both of you are very talented, and I know
Thank
Jessica
you.
Lynn, you write your
you.
own songs, right? And
Yes.
so maybe the show answers the musical question why you will be hearing a lot more about Jessica Lynn in the coming months. But as far as that goes, when did you start writing your own material?
I have tapes from when I was like 4, like writing terrible
4?
songs.
Really?
I mean, they're absolutely
But
they
you
were
mean-
awful, but I started really, really young.
Yeah, but that's the kind of stuff, by the way, when you become famous, they're going to come out. That'll be.
Oh my
right?
God! I
We
really
have all
hope
those
they do
home
that.
videos.
Right, yeah.
But I used to make my family and even my friends that would, thank God I had friends all throughout elementary school because I would make them come and watch these
that's great.
hours of productions that I put on. I had like my own songs and like a
I used to be the
choreographed
light
dances.
girl. I used to do me the lights.
Oh, really?
She'd have a flashlight and be holding it on them.
It's like the Little Rascals. Right?
It's really
Let's put on
embarrassing.
something.
There was even
I
one
like
she
going
did
on-
where they had somebody had stuck like a stuffed little bird on a stick, and the bird was flying
Had
over her
to
head
hold it
until
over her.
I was
head.
intense.
Hey, listen, that's how Spielberg got started.
And I had to go along with all this since I'm the younger one. I
Oh,
used
you're
to
the
do
young one,
this.
too?
Yeah.
Yep.
But I just,
I had to do everything.
as long as I can remember, I was just always doing music, and I started out with piano lessons in elementary school,
Right.
but I was learning more like the classical stuff, and I remember
Yeah.
I would drive my teacher crazy because I'd be like, "Can we do Billy Joel next week?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
can we do Queen?" And she'd be like, "No, you have to learn like the theory and
The
technique."
fundamentals, right,
Yeah, and
right.
she's an amazing teacher, but after a while, it's just like, my heart's not like in this. I just want to play my own stuff, and I found that a lot of the time I would come to my piano lessons and just play my new songs for her rather than
Oh, and she did- she liked
learn.
them?
She did like them. So I kind of just from there developed, I said, all right, I want to explore this now. And I picked up the guitar and learned drums. And I really started like heavily writing at that point.
So how many songs have you written? You can't even keep. Wow, that's a lot.
I
There's
have
quite a
several
few.
songs.
And she's also had one of her singles. The original band that started out with Jessica and Samantha and 3 of their friends was called A Few Too Many. And they were very popular locally here.
Right.
They
And you, I mean, you're in Jefferson Valley in Yorktown.
Yes, sir.
Right. How long have your family been here?
we've been here for 25 years.
Oh, okay, all
We've been
right.
up here.
Yeah.
And the pop rock band they started together, one of her songs that they had done called I'll Wait was just featured in a major motion picture called Rough Winds that made its way through the
Wow.
Sundance Film Festival, and I think it's going to get nationwide distribution soon.
Oh, really? That'll be
But,
great.
yeah, it was actually the featured song in the film. It's over the credits, and there's several scenes in there.
Oh, wow. So speaking of songs, tell us just a little bit, Jessica, in terms of leading into it, about Love the Day Away. How were you inspired to write that?
It's a very funny story. I'm getting my master's right now in special education, and I have my bachelor's in math and adolescent ed. And, you know, I really do love teaching, but music is completely my passion. So, you know, I was getting a little bit, you know, depressed because you have to do 5-day-a-week student teaching as part of your degree. And I knew that that was going to take so much time away from what I really do. Right. So I was on like a big writer's block, like 6 months, probably like before the student teaching, like just freaking out about having to do it. Right. And the morning of my first day of the 5-day-a-week student teaching, I woke up with that song in my head.
Oh. And how long did it take to write it?
10 minutes.
Just yeah, you know that, and it's amazing about creative people how you know so many creative people like yourself say that it just comes out. And by the way, you have something in common with my daughter, who's a student teacher right now in Somers at Primrose School.
It's
she
hard,
loves Alyssa. Yeah, Alyssa.
So that song's very special to me because I feel like it was just a big sign, like, you know, this is what you should be doing. Well,
on that note, let's hear Jessica Lynn and Samantha singing "Love the Day Away."
It's much too cold to get about these sheets. Lying here with you is feeling like a dream. I'm thinking about just calling it instead, 'cause I can bear the thought of leaving you in bed. You look so good looking at me as my heart beats in your arms. Can't keep our hands off each other. There ain't no other who'd ever make me feel this way. So let's forget what we're doing and just get it moving. Let's stay in bed all day and love this day away. Your kisses came right from the candy shop. Our legs are twisted up, they're getting all in knots. But I ain't never ever gonna stop, 'cause every inch of you just looking so damn hot. You look so good looking at me as my heart beats in your arms. Can't keep our hands off each other. There ain't no other who'd ever make me feel this way. So let's forget what we're doing and just get it moving. Let's stay in bed all day and love this day away. You drive me wild all the time, and I can't resist any part of this. Can't keep our hands off each other. There ain't no other who'd ever make me feel this way. Let's forget what we're doing, just get it moving. Let's stay in bed all day and love this day away.
So that was "Love of the Day Away." Great song and really well performed by both of you. So yeah, congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
And you know, it occurs to me that not everybody who's a musician. No, that came out wrong. That people who aren't musicians also have talent. That's what I'm trying to say. And so, you know, Chris, one of your talents that people who know you are well aware of is bringing people together, right, and bringing organizations together and making things happen. And that's really what, your role in this as well.
Yes,
is that,
it absolutely
and one of the interesting things, as you know, I work with Supervisor Michael Grace in Yorktown, who's doing a great job. And you know all the elected officials.
Yeah.
And so talk to us a little bit about, how they are fitting into this and how the town has actually gotten behind, what's happening at the winery and what Jessica Lynn's doing and what the whole family is doing.
Sure. One of the big things was not just my mission to complete the winery and do what my forte was to start bringing people in. I used to see you there sometimes and told you, I'm reaching out to Westchester now. I'm going out to the parameters of Westchester, good restaurants, good places that people like to hang out. And what happened was when Peter approached me about doing this, I thought, and we got the town hall involved and Joe Visconti with the chamber. I'm on the business development committee, so my big thing is bring good things to this town.
Right.
This is a good thing.
Right.
So I approached my partners about it, Michael Grace, Alice Roker. They were receptive to let us practice.
Right.
And then we needed another place to practice. Barry from Yorktown Stage, which we have this beautiful stage in this town that has had plays forever. I didn't know as a resident for 25 years how many people come to this town for that stage.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So the wheels started
does a
turning.
great job
And
that
this
way,
is works out great
right.
to really get the recognition Yorktown deserves.
Yeah, and as we've been talking about, without getting off track or giving away too much, I think all of us have in common that we feel a lot more can be done to showcase local talent. Yes. And there's a tremendous amount. If you get around, I know as you do, and obviously all of you do and I do, you see that. And the real, what's missing is getting the word out about everybody, about people like you who, who do a great job. And that's one of the things we've talked about that is made possible now that never was possible before by the internet and by digital media. And now you can distribute, like you're doing, you can virtually distribute your own talent.
You can write and record something in your bedroom or your basement, and within an hour have it on the air in Ireland or Italy, if somebody's watching it somewhere around the world.
We actually hit it off perfect through Facebook because I started seeing their Facebook, and then I started promoting them through Facebook, and I would go to each of their shows with Over the Top, their rock and roll band.
Yes, that's.
And we also should mention, Peter, that your family, your production company, which is Daydreamer Productions, puts on the local Idol competitions.
Yes,
right?
We've been doing that for the past 2.5 years, and as you mentioned, there's not enough done to push the local talent.
Right.
Through our family band, which is Over the Top, we play every weekend throughout the area, we would run into a lot of great singers and people that would always approach us. They knew about my show on television. What can you do for me? I have this nephew that sings or an uncle that's great. So we started doing these Idol shows along with a fellow producer, Joe Dinky, that works with us. And they just grew into these really huge community events. And through these shows, some of the people that we had uncovered were every bit as good as superstars that are out there today.
Right.
We had a guy who, he's a welder. And we had them at the Paramount. We handpicked actually from about 120 singers that have come through the show in the last 2 years. We picked 20 singers to take to the Paramount Theater last summer for a huge benefit show that we had done. And we had production numbers. There were dancers behind them and lighting people. So it was a really nice show. But this one fella, he came and he's a welder by day, very mild-mannered, very quiet. You have to pull words out of him when you're talking to him. He got up there and he sang Johnny Maestro's "The Worst That Could Happen."
Yeah.
And
great
that's
song.
Great
song.
But when I tell you, I think he did it better than Johnny
And
Maestro.
Johnny Maestro had some voice.
And this is a guy who, he's there he is in his shop welding by day. We had another fellow who's a bricklayer, has a stone business that did Joe Cocker and Pink Floyd. But really incredible people. And a lot of these videos can be found online at YouTube if you run Idol at the Paramount. You can see a lot of these videos.
Right.
But yeah, it was all about this local talent right under your nose. This is the guy that, might be my plumber fixing my sink one day, and he's incredibly talented.
It's crazy how they live double lives. They do this during the day, then at night, they're incredible singers, musicians. And to actually find these people and showcase them is such a good feeling.
Oh, I know. No, it's true.
I got to tell you a funny, quick story.
Sure,
I'm in Time Restaurant because I'm promoting Time, and the bartender.
And by the way, that's THYME. I want to make sure.
Time right. And the bartender hears me talking to Peter on the phone. She says, "Well, I sing," and I said, "Well, you should join the talent, the Idol show." Well, she has been there for
Oh,
the
really?
last, and she's great. She's great. It was very impressive. I'm happy to have her part of it because she's that good.
You know, it's just nice to be able to do, you know, our part as musicians and, you know, producers, to be able to help, you know, the other artists. Because sometimes, you know, people can get so catty, or it's competition, or, you know, we're like a team, you know, it's a community of artists and musicians. We should all work together to help each other, you know, and it's, you know, we feel that this is like, you know, the least that we could do, you know, to help, because we have the means to, you know, help all these people get to the next level. There are people out of the show that have their own shows in restaurants now, and have gotten work with huge wedding agencies and bands out of the videos that we provide for them every week.
Newspapers and stuff. We did a lot for these.
It's just nice.
No, that's
and,
great. It is great.
You know, we appreciate it, and I feel like we're getting it back tenfold with just how much support Yorktown is giving us on my project, giving us all the space to rehearse, and I mean, it just means so much to us. And it's so nice to have like a family like that, as you know, as the community that you live in.
No, that is nice. Yeah, and between, you know, Costco coming in, which pretty much everybody agrees is a great thing, and what you're talking about, it does help the whole quality of life of the town. You know, that's the thing. And you mentioned your YouTube channel. I also want to take the opportunity to plug that this show, Frank Talks with Bruce the Blog. Maybe you're watching it right now on YouTube, but you can go and search NCN Local TV. And this show is there, and a lot of other shows are there as well. But speaking of American Idol, you know, the American Idol, have you ever considered trying out for that, auditioning for it? Or,
Yes.
Oh, that's a long story.
I hate to talk bad about anything, but it's really just like pick it out of a hat.
You're just a number.
Well, if you watch, I mean, if you watch, you know, the auditions, that becomes pretty obvious. I mean, they sort of, and you know, some people, including, you know, my wife Elise, will say it's almost like a little cruel what they do and how they show people who are really bad, almost making fun of them, right? Almost mocking them.
Funny to watch.
But people like it, so they watch it.
That's why they do it.
It's good TV.
Ratings.
There's a whole process.
You have to have a story. You have to. It's
not
just about
talent.
They want somebody unique, whether you're a very interesting-looking person that has a good voice. You know, it's not like this traditional, like you can write good songs, you could sing, you know, whatever. Here's a record deal. It's like you need something different to be able to make it that way.
But isn't that the basic premise? You know, it's sort of the anti-idol of The Voice, where they're saying, you know, I'm not looking at you, I'm just listening to you, right? I mean, that's at least what they say.
The funny thing when she went down for the audition for American Idol was that there's a whole process you get to before you even get to what you see. Where I think that they bring in local people to just screen, because you have you got
thousands of
thousands,
people,
right?
And
so you know there's a lot that do get away. But Jessica had got up there, as well as Sam, and they've been performing professionally at every nightclub in Manhattan since they were 14 years old.
Right.
These kids have been out there doing this, you know, on a regular basis. And the young girls, they were teenagers that were screening them, said, "You're both too nervous. You really need more experience performing."
Right.
And you know, and here's two kids that, you know, have been,
you need more experience performing.
You know, on radio, television,
But you know, it's just some things are just not meant to be.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant to be.
Right.
But it's a great show. We love it. It's actually one of the only television shows that our whole family will get together and we'll sit around the TV and watch it. We've loved it since.
Recording it.
Yeah.
It is a good show.
It was a great idea. You know, obviously, it's, you know, they do a great job. Yeah, it's and I think we should talk about the next song that people are going to hear, Jessica Lynn, Not Your Woman. If you could talk a little bit about how that came about.
I guess my music has a very, you know, kind of wide range. I love writing in every type of style and genre, but this one has a little bit more of a bluesy feel. And as I said, I kind of like the light bulb goes off, and like when I'm about to write a song, and I was actually just hanging out with my boyfriend in the living room. I was doing homework, and we had like the music station on the TV on Cablevision going. Right. And this real heavy blues song came on, and I ran inside and I just wrote the song.
The weirdest thing I've ever seen. She'll sit there, and in 10 seconds, she'll bang out an entire song. I could sit there and stare at a piece of paper for hours, and I cannot write a song like this one can. She can literally just something switches and she'll have
music and the lyrics, or just
at once. It's like literally like a switch goes off in my head, and I just hear it, and I just put it out as I'm hearing it.
But each
you
one
write
is
your own music as well, right?
Yeah, and that's. I mean, I'm actually envious of her because I, like the rest of the world out there, we you know, you get an idea and it comes quickly, but then you have to labor over it.
Right.
with Jessica, I've seen her just in a matter of minutes. They were doing a.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, we have to start getting
Oh,
to the
okay.
song. I'm sorry to
That's
cut you off,
quite-
but actually we're going to use this song to go out, as what is it? Ryan Seacrest says. Ryan Seacrest out. Well, I'm not Ryan Seacrest, but
Apar out?
but it doesn't stop me from stealing his line. So, and as I always like to say at the end of the show, when Bruce the Blog listens, people talk and sing. Not your woman.
Today I found out my man had one on the side. I knew that all my fears that kept me up at night were true. Look at you. Thought that you were clever, thought you double dip. For that you need some brains, so man, you got gypped, it's true. Look at you. You ain't got nothing if you don't got me. So good luck, baby, you are gonna see that I was the best you'd ever meet. So take a good look as you watch me leave. I'm not your woman, I'm not your toy. I'm not someone you run around on, they come back to, little boy. I'm not angry, not even sad. I'm just glad I know by now that you want nothing more than bad. I'm through, I'm done, ain't no more I can say, except it's too late now, just get out of my way. Hey, 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 yeah, hey, 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 yeah. I'm sick of all your phone calls, all your mail, that gift. I threw it in the trash after I opened it, it's true. Look at you. Trying to make up for everything you've done. You should have thought of that before you had your fun, it's true. Boo-hoo. You ain't got nothing if you don't got me. So good luck, baby, you are gonna see that I was the best you'd ever meet. So take a good look as you watch me leave. I'm not your woman, I'm not your toy. I'm not someone you run around on, they come back to, little boy. I'm not angry, not even sad. I'm just glad I know by now that you are nothing more than bad. I'm through, I'm done, ain't no more I can say, except it's too late now, just get out of my way. Hey, 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 yeah, hey, hey. Hey, yeah, hey, 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 yeah, hey, hey, yeah,
Okay, and we are out of time, and so we want to thank the entire Calamera family, Jessica Lynn, Samantha, sisters, and their dad Peter, and of course Chris Sciarra. And I just want to mention very quickly that you can see Jessica Lynn, really her first public appearance after the Winery PBS taping, October 7th, Sunday, the big Yorktown Street Fair. Thousands of people will be there, and you should be there too. 10:30 a.m., Jessica Lynn will be singing God Bless America at the opening ceremony, and she'll be performing again later in the day, so you want to be sure to catch that. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I'm going to repeat it. When Bruce the Blog listens, people talk and sing and maybe someday dance. Who knows? Bye-bye.
I can bear the thought of leaving you in bed. You look so good looking at me as my heart beats
our hands up.